What's going on, guys? Somebody sent me this video and told me to fast forward to the Vickie Guerrero situation. I barely know much about it. I know it involves her daughter somehow or some way, but we're going to let WrestleMania explain to us about what's going to happen here. I know it's very weird to have them explain anything about Vickie Guerrero when they screwed up and botched that last report they had about her and had a lot of false information, but as of lately, they seem to be a little bit more consistent as far as doing their due diligence with their story. So I'm gonna give him one more chance. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it to get an update every time I upload a video. Let's get into this.
Next up, a huge
Vickie
story
Guerrero
as
is
Vickie Guerrero
finished.
is
WrestleMania is
finished.
petty, man.
How the wrestling world is being rocked by allegations recently made by Sherilyn Guerrero, the daughter of Eddie and Vickie Guerrero. Sherilyn posted a video on TikTok. As Wrestling News Paul Davis is reporting, Miss Guerrero posted a video on her TikTok account about her stepfather allegedly sexually assaulting her in 2020 while they were on a cruise. Sherilyn says that she wants a relationship with her mother, but instead she chose to side with her husband. She also said that she didn't want to wish anything negative in direction of her family, but she wanted to get this out because she's received messages about not being involved with her mother when the reality is that her mother blocked her.
Wow.
Sherilyn's cousin Chava Guerrero tweeted his support for her. Just to let everyone know, I fully support my cousin Sherilyn Guerrero. Eddie's daughter and I have been doing so privately in the last couple of years of her struggles. She's a very—
Wait, what does he mean by this? Eddie's daughter and I have been doing so privately in the last couple of years of her struggles. Does he mean her struggles with like mental and emotional stuff after the alleged assault, or just in life? I would like to know that.
Very strong woman for coming forward with the sexual assault she's suffered. But then Vickie Guerrero responded on Instagram. The message is pretty long, but there are two sides to the story. Over 15 years of my relationship with Sherilyn has been hostile, and I've tried to deal with a narcissist person. Not only myself, but close friends of Sherilyn over 10 years and family have cut ties with her because of her manic behaviors. I tried to do therapy with Sherilyn, but she always said no, and that I'm sick, not her. Sherilyn, please tell your side of the character of being drunk on the cruise and having guys in your room, then crying because you thought you were raped, and then demanded us to go to a pharmacy in Bahamas for Plan B.
Wow.
You want to play dirty and sling Chris and I through the mud? I can play too. Are you enjoying the car that Chris bought you since you wrecked yours?
No,
I'm so done
you
with
can't
you and
do
tired
that.
of the years of your manipulation, lies, and disrespect. I kept quiet for years because you never seek therapy to learn how to have an adult conversation with me. It's always been your way or nothing at all. Okay, Sherilyn, not only will I see you in court, but you and I will no longer be related. For the fans who feel entitled to comment, F you heard one side of the story and you feel entitled to comment on something you know nothing about. Yikes. What do you guys think of this response?
Whoa. That was not the way to go. That was not the way to go. Let's go back to the original one before this. Oh my God, Vickie handled this so wrong. She handled this so wrong. Okay, so I want to start off by saying this. And I don't know any of these individuals, and I'm not accusing Sherilyn if she's been through this, because the word alleged comes up a lot. So I have to treat it like it's alleged because I can't confirm that this actually happened to her. But if she did go through this, prayers and thoughts to her with dealing with whatever the aftermath is, whether it be emotional or mental or whatever the case may be, after suffering from the assault, the alleged assault. But the first thing I have to say is that I'm hoping that she's telling the truth about this. And it's not simply because of what Vickie said, but just in general, because there are people out there, male or female, that accuse people of things that can end their life and or career, just for publicity, just for attention, or maybe they're going through some mental health issues. You know, by accusing Chris of doing this, you know, you mess with his reputation, which also can in turn mess with his finances and with his career, which also can affect Vickie and her career, because some people from like wrestling cons and things she might get booked for, or shows and stuff she gets booked for, they'll see the accusations on TikTok and assume like, oh, the mom is okay with this, we have to cancel her from doing this. We have to cancel her from this event. So now you're messing with two people's reputations who possibly can get canceled, and then also messing with the career. So I'm hoping that she's telling the truth. I don't like the fact that it happened to her, if it did happen to her, but I hope she is telling the truth. And personally for me, I'm not a big put everything on social media type person. Going on TikTok and saying these things, you know, she has the right to do that. She said her mom blocked her, but for me, that's not the avenue I would have went. But again, I'm not in her situation, so I don't know. But once you put something out there on social media, you open Pandora's box, and it can go either way. I tell people this all the time. And this especially goes for Vickie, the way she responded. If you're upset with someone, this directly goes to her. If you're upset with someone about something they did on social media, it's done and over with. Sherilyn already went on TikTok and said what she said. You don't want to respond this way on social media. If you're pissed off, you're angry, or whatever the case may be, you need to take at least 24 hours, take a breather, think about what you're going to say, even if you have to write it down to get it all out your system, and then reformat it before you post it. In my personal opinion, you shouldn't post it at all, because the truth is going to come out eventually. If she's going to go to court to take her daughter there, or whatever the case may be, the truth is going to come out eventually. Or if you feel like you absolutely have to post something, take a break and reformat it. Write it down. Give it to someone else. Have them, a person who's more level-headed, respond to this entire thing. Because the way that Vickie handled this, WrestleMania might be right. It might be over for her. Like I said, that by accusing someone of the R word can potentially ruin someone's career and their financial situation. But by Vickie responding this way, this pretty much solidified that, at least for her. Like right here at the beginning when she says, please tell your side of your character of being drunk on a cruise and having guys in your room, then crying because you think you were R-worded, then demanded us to go to a pharmacy in the Bahamas for plan B. You know, it makes you wonder, is this, because this sounds like it's from the same crew. So amongst those guys, was Chris a part of that group? That's the number one question I have about that whole thing. But Sherilyn has the right to have as many guys in her room as she wants to, if she wants to be drunk with a bunch of guys. Personally, for me, I don't recommend that. That is not a safe situation. A lot of these situations of being assaulted and R-worded have come from people being drunk in a room full of guys. And I don't think that is a good potential situation to be in, or a good situation to be in, but she has the right to make that choice to do so. And if she feel like something happened after the fact, regardless of how it all started, you can tell her like, hey, don't do this again. Don't put yourself in this situation again. But she does have the right to tell her mom like, hey, I feel like this happened to me. Can we go to the Bahamas and get a plan B pill, because I don't want to have a potential baby out of this type of situation. At least she's trying to do that. But to put that out there is I get where Vickie is going, because she's embarrassed and she's like, hey, this is the person who keeps doing this over and over, and accusing people of that R word over and over is dangerous. So Vickie is probably trying to let people know this is what she does a lot, but this isn't the route she should have went. Right here also when she said, you want to play dirty and sling Chris and I through the mud, I can play too. Are you enjoying the car that Chris bought you since you wrecked yours? That you cannot say that either, because it looks like because he bought you a car, you don't have a right to say anything. Now I get it from probably the mom's perspective. You're like, oh, well, this guy did so much for you. Why would you do something like this to him and lie about something he did? But you can't respond like this because we're in the public. What you're saying is in the public eye. So there's, like I said before, you have to reformat the things you're saying and leave all of these personal shots, these petty shots out of here. Regardless of how the daughter is acting, she can be as immature and petty as possible. As the adult, as the mom, you got to hit her back with some maturity, because now this looks bad. This looks bad. People can take this and say you're victim blaming, and because he bought you a car, you need to shut up. That's what this looked like. And the next part right here, it says this. And it looks like they try to do therapy, and she said, you can't have an adult conversation with me. But right here it says, it has also been your way or nothing at all, Sherilyn. At all. Okay, Sherilyn. Not only will I see you in court, but you and I will no longer be related. Golly. And I get that there's some family members you have to cut off because of toxicity, but it's like, you don't just do it. Don't put it out there. For the fans who feel entitled to comment, F you. You hear one side of a story and you feel entitled to comment on something you don't know nothing about. And I understand the frustration behind that. I do. It's an embarrassing situation. You're trying to ruin my reputation. You lied on my husband and trying to ruin his reputation. She probably got a bunch of outlets contacting her. She see a lot of posts about her on the internet, and I'm sure she's frustrated about that. I'm not saying that she doesn't have the right to feel the way she feels, but to seemingly attack the daughter, to seemingly say, it looked like that you're saying you shouldn't say anything because Chris has done so much for you. To sit here and say, for the fans who feel entitled to comment, F you, you're also attacking the fans. And then at the same time, it's like you're just spazzing out and attacking everybody. And it looks like it makes it worse for you. It makes it completely worse for you. There's a better way she could have handled this whole thing. And I know hindsight is 20/20. And I know people have best advice when they're not in a certain situation, but this isn't the way. Not to go on social media and do this. A whole paragraph, she wrote the entire Game of Thrones book on the girl's post. Like that's the whole series on her posts. Like, that's crazy. But I don't know, man. I don't know if Sherilyn's telling the truth or not. I hope she isn't. I want to hope that she isn't lying about what's happening here, because this is not cool. Either way, this is not cool. The R word is a very sensitive word, and using it to accuse someone of it or whatever way, it's very, very dangerous. And I would like to say this at the end of the day for all the people who have been through, this type of assault or the R word. My prayers and thoughts for you guys. Hopefully you guys are recovering mentally and emotionally. For people who've actually been in that situation, right? There are, like I said, there are individuals who do claim these things to happen and they never do. I can't point out who has or doesn't. I haven't been in these people's lives, but I know they exist. But the thing that sucks is when you lie, it takes away from the victims who actually been through it. So for the victims who've been through it, my prayers and thoughts for you guys. Salute to you guys for being so strong and telling your story, and encouraging other people who've been through these type of situations to get stronger and get better. But again, Vickie, this wasn't the way, man. This ain't the Mandalorian. This wasn't the way. This was not the way. But man, this is crazy. This is not what I thought this was going to be. I thought it was just going to be some simple beef on social media. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section, and please be sensitive about the topic. I really don't want to see people going crazy and trying to troll and try to be seen and stuff like that, but just have a civil conversation about this entire thing, okay? But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute, peace.